our next session, the next day. We're putting the English saddle on Alpha, and I have a better size cinch that I kind of manufactured from all my horse and cow tack from the past. Let's see if we can easily cinch up this English saddle on Alpha. And we've got Beta, here he comes. Okay, he's going out to browse and graze or check out something back there that he heard. Okay, let's see if anybody can get this saddle on him. It's Tavis. I was supposed to have an extra helper today. He hasn't arrived yet. And I have my phone, but I'm not going to answer it while we're working on training our alpacas. My phone just rang, but I get so many spam calls it's hardly worth even checking it. All right, let's see if this is going to be the right size to tighten the cinch. And let's see what Alpha says about a tight cinch. Remember, Alpha is called Alpha because, it's going down. That's all right. It's all right. Nothing on it's going to hurt him. Okay, so Tavis is going to have to work a little bit more with the buckles. He's stepping on his lead line, but I don't think, okay, it's not stuck under his toe. Don't think he's going to freak out. He's in our small tacking area. It's essential, though, that you use the pad of some sort. Yeah. You know, when you're teaching horses and cows to be saddled and bridled and haltered, they eventually understand. They just stand there. I am relatively confident that Alpha and Beta will eventually understand and just stand here while we deal with buckles, cinches, breast collars, croupers. Remember yesterday with Beta, that cinch that I used to use was too big and the saddle fell off, so then we worked on ground driving Beta. It was a good chance to review with him. As a matter of fact, I reviewed one of my old shows last night on YouTube, and I had recalled by watching that show that I said we're going to put the saddle on and also hitch him to the cart. Why not? So one of these days we might try that, in case I'm just not aware of why not. As tight as you can make it, Tavis. And I was trying to tell you a story yesterday that there was a horse lost in San Mateo County. I arranged for trail riders to watch for it, to look for it, because the Mounted Patrol of San Mateo County wouldn't look for an animal. You might want to bring the, you can, okay, you're going to make it shorter?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. And nobody had found it. I organized a search, and finally a trail rider on an Arab horse found it in a stream. There was no water left in the stream. The saddle was under his belly. He'd been gone for days, and the vet said that he wouldn't have survived another day if we hadn't have found him when we finally did. Do you feel the cinch is tight?
As tight as I could get it. Seems alright.
The way to know is to walk out like we did with Beta See what happens.
All right.
Okay, now, even though I would love to spend part of this lesson ground driving, for now, let's just concentrate on, will that English saddle stay on with the new improvised cinch that I provided.
That's a lot tighter, so.
Beta's still out there. I'm sure he heard something, and so he's out there checking. Oh, and then he said, oh, there's my buddy. Okay, now Tavis, you go where you want to go. Maybe up and down the corridors in the back pasture. We don't have a tractor in the big pasture today. We'll go out in the big pasture. And Sonia Sokolow, the urban alpaca girl, who's the camera girl, will be going there too, carefully. By the way, I did set up some no more hoses here to try to get this part of our training area pasture greener. Most nobody in my county has green pastures this time of year. As a matter of fact, I don't know anybody who does. There must be a few. But in my two communities, in the Ranchos and in Golden Oaks, I don't see any other green pastures. But I consider it essential to allow a farm animal to browse and graze on green pastures all year round, if possible. You can see my back pasture here is very lush. The water comes on at 7 o'clock every morning. I check to make sure it's on. There are some places where it's not quite spraying, but there's plenty of browsing and grazing available to my sanctuary large farm animals. And look how good Alpha's being. He's looking around. Remember, he's looking out on the trails around the ranchos on the neighbor's property. I'll try to get closer. Here's Beta romping over to him. Although I've never heard anybody say this, I think they learn by watching each other. And I'm looking forward to putting this English saddle on with the reduced cinch on Beta. Maybe this weekend. When you have a chance, just stop and make sure the saddle seems like it's cinched tightly. Now he's saying, why did you stop? You see, he's a little bit concerned. Touch him on his neck so he knows that you're in tune. It's all right. They don't like to be touched on their heads and on their legs, but they do respond to being touched on their necks. It looks okay to you, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sure that cinch wasn't this tight on Beta yesterday, and that's why the saddle fell off when Beta did a hip swing. English saddles are, by design, much lighter than Western saddles. I even have a side saddle from decades ago because I did have some hip replacements due to arthritis in my hips. There was no doubt about it. I had to have those hips replaced, so I purchased a used side saddle and I rode that way when I was able to ride again after the surgeries. Okay, I'm going to get the gate open for you here. We've got no noises No dogs, no wild animals out here. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Tavis is putting some weight on it. I am working on getting a camp organized for the sanctuary animals interaction with local families. I don't know how long it will take. It will be a lot of paperwork and, of course, require appropriate insurance, etc. But just keep in tune. Subscribe to Urban